Howdy, my boys. What I thought I would do is just run through the inquiry process in an exemplar for just part of my exemplar that I've done so far. So the topic that I've chosen there is LGBT mental health in New Zealand. So I have a very specific focus and I've made it New Zealand focused. So this is the form that you've initially filled out. So that's a step that's already been done thus far. Those are the three questions that you're looking at. So question 1 links to source 1 and 2. Question 2 links to source 3 and 4. And question 3 links to source 5 and 6. So I've done sources 1, 2, 3, 4, and I think I've started 5 and I haven't got a 6 yet. So this will be just the first part of filling in the initial parts, and then I'll make another video to show you how to fill in the questions at a later point. So those are the three questions. Everyone's doing the same ones, and thus far no one has contacted me about anything different. So I have put in there at the top question 1. This is just to make it a little bit easier for myself. I just find it easier that way to work through it. So, sorry, I was just checking something. So what I've got there is the bibliographical details. So my site, I went with a website here. That's the name of the website. That's the title of the page, and that's the author, no publication date, and then the date that I accessed it, which is exactly a week ago. And then I put the URL there. So you put as much detail as you can get and put that in there. Then you make your keynote. So these are bullet points, full sentences, summaries of the information on the page. And obviously they're going to link to question 1, which is the history and context. So they are bullet points in my own words. If you are taking words directly from the page, they need to be in quotation marks. So if this was copied, for example, I would need to put that in there. But part of the point of the assessment is your ability to find the key information and put in the key information. So we're talking bullet points. It might be the 3 that are there. It might be more like 5 if there's quite a bit that's relevant. Just short like this. One little sentence, and there's not got a full stop. There we go, triggered. So that just has my key points. So my question there is about the history and context. So I've gone through the history and context of like legal rights of LGBT because it wasn't even legal to be gay in New Zealand. So that's relevant to the topic of mental health. And then it didn't format onto the same page. So I've got my currency there. I've actually written it really detailed. Yours might be a little bit shorter than these. So currency, it is unclear on the website when this page was published. There was reference to the author publishing something in 2019. So I could guess that it was after a date, which means I guessed that it was still relevant, but the information is historical. So even there might be like more history that comes to cite, but otherwise it's not that relevant, like not that important rather. That I've got that information. Reliability, the fact that it's on Te Papa's website and I know who that is. The authority, so it's got who the author is, and so then I had to do some like Googling of him to find out who he was, so you might need to do that as well to find out the background information on your person. If you can't find out background information, then you can just assume that they're like an author or a writer, and therefore they might not be an expert, but they might have quoted experts, which could make it more relevant. And then obviously the purpose there. So that's all filled in. And then I've come through and done that again here with a different website. So this one I was really fortunate that there was something on the bottom of the page that said like how to cite the source, and it literally gave me the thing to copy. So this is officially how you cite websites or like access different things. Anyway, so when you get to university and you've got to do things really properly, there's a certain order that things have to be cited in. So that's what I copied there, and it did it exactly for me, which was really, really handy. Same thing again. You just have key bullet points there. So I've just got 3 key bullet points because these were relevant to the history. So my crack test there is slightly shorter, so probably more like what you guys are actually going to end up doing. Then I got to source 3, which is question 2, which is on the current state. So my history was obviously on like the legality, because I couldn't find much on like historical LGBT mental health things, because it used to be illegal to be gay. So there wasn't really any resources available for people's mental health then, because it was legal. So you wouldn't want to be providing something for people that weren't legally allowed to exist. So then my current one, there's the current state of play. So I found this literature review, which is like something like an academic paper. So that was really interesting, but obviously it was quite long, so I had to like skim through the bits that were relevant, and I put the PDF in there. Put in more keynotes because I thought that there were like quite a lot of things that were relevant in there. So I got quite a lot there, and then did my crap test there. As you can see, I sort of just followed through. This one's kind of like a happy medium. The first one I did heaps on, second one not as much, and then that one there. This third one here, I used an infographic as a source. So far I have 2 websites, 1 academic paper, and 1 infographic. So that one there's, as you can see, it's a PDF, so it's an infographic. Got some stats there. And then I have done the crap test there. And then the future ones, I've looked at like current things that are being done to help. So I found this website, which is currently available to help in the future. And then I need to find another source. So this is another website. I think it might be helpful if I can find from here a news website or a news article or like a YouTube video or something like that that might be able to help me a little bit more with that information. So as you can see, I've got my bullet points there. And I have started doing the reliability and the currency and the evaluations. So I've got here, it provides resources so that like that makes it more reliable as it is just posting information. So it's just like factual. And then authority, I can write on there. There is no stated author on the site, just the organization, which means it can be less reliable as we can't research who said it and whether they are trustworthy. However, the website itself is well known, and that helps it to be more reliable. So just something like that in there. And then I would go through and do that last one. So I still haven't got my 6th source, but I would do that one more there. And then I've got these questions here to fill in. I've started one, even though I haven't finished, because the first question is linked to the first question. So I started that one there, as you can see. The question's about, where is it? The history or context. So this is just me summarizing the history and context in my own words based on what I have read. Then I would go through and look at the causes. And so for that one, there's no website, like it's not one of the questions that I've answered, but I might have opinions on the causes based on the information that I've read and researched. So that's why it's really helpful to do really good note keeping and bibliographical details, like wherever it is up here. Like these ones here, so that you can come back to your resources and read them again, because that's going to help you come through and answer these ones. So I put in there, I'll answer those ones. You answer in like the pinky orange bit. What is the situation right now? So I can summarize my information and reflect on that. What are differing opinions? So that's just what I can figure out from what I've read and my thoughts. What will happen next? And then from there, I do the write-up of the report. So hopefully that has kind of shown you a little bit, or maybe made it maybe easier to see what you're doing here. So find the resources. So I found them through, yes, I Googled. There is the library database. So I've told you already, if you go through the Westlake site, to the library site, to the database, Epic database is really good. And I've said already that I feel like I need to have another type of resource, because I've got 3 websites, an infographic and an academic paper. And I would like to have something like a YouTube or a news article or something like that to help. So that's a run through of the exemplar that I have done so far. And when I get round to answering the question at the end, then I will post another one and talk through that. Fabulous.